Alrighty, I think we finally got it. Just let me just check a few things here. My processor was overheating. Let me just and the motherboard was acting up. I think we're about to explode. Go figure. But I think, let me just double check. We should be okay. Still running a little high. I do not know. This is incredible, but I think it's time to get a new PC. This thing's fucked. Oh man. So, anyways, how are we all doing this afternoon? This afternoon here. If you are in the UK, let me just see who's in chat. Hey Jeff, how are you? Yeah, I'll send you a link in a few minutes. I just wanted to make sure everything was good to go. Let's see here. Hey, Steve Wills, how are you? Good to see you, man. Myself explored and Seth. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. So OJ Simpson died today. Oh man. OJ Simpson. What a fucking story that's been. Was he guilty? Do you think he was guilty? He was guilty, eh? He was guilty. Or do you think somebody was, or do you think it was his son? I mean, there was thoughts that he was covering up for his son, but I mean, when you look at OJ, is he really that, I don't know, I need to protect my son kind of guy? What was it when he got out of jail? He was burned again for going and trying to get all his paraphernalia, like sports paraphernalia back, collectibles that some guy had at a hotel. And it's like when you're a kid, and I don't know if you guys ever did it here in Canada. One of the big things that we used to do when we were kids, well, when I was a kid, is we used to fly cards. So you have hockey cards, baseball cards, and so on and so on. And we used to fly them. Hey, Bud Files, how are you? We used to fly them, topsies, flipsies, all sorts of shit. And there'd be times when, okay, let's throw in you'd come with like a shoe box full of cards, and you just dump it in there and get the other guy. He would have like 3 times the amount that you'd have, and had to, you know, you're like, oh, I can win all these cards, and of course you never did. And then when you didn't, you're like, oh, you jump on the pile and go, oh no, they're all mine, they're all mine. OJ Simpson. He couldn't get those gloves on in court, right? Yeah, exactly. That's an image burned in the memory of everyone who remembers the OJ Simpson trial, right? Was he guilty? Yeah, I mean, what was it with? Weren't they supposedly his son's gloves though, or his son was using the gloves, and they fit his son's hands, his hands. Um, I mean, do do you think it was his son? Do you think it was his son, or do you think it was him? I mean, who do you guys think? I mean, I should take a poll here. Put a poll up and say, hey, what do you guys think? Was it OJ, or was it his son, or was it somebody else? You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull. I'm going to put a poll up. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm going to put it up there. Okay, I'm curious. I'm just really curious. Let's see. Give me a second here, guys. I can't remember. I can't remember his son's name. But I'm just gonna go Jay's son. Because I'm curious. And there you go. There's your poll. uh, there's the poll. Enjoy. Hey, Glasgow Dave, how are you? Yeah. So, yeah. So he passed away. I guess cancer. I believe it was cancer, something to do with cancer. He had cancer for a while and dealing with it. So, a cancer has died. A cancer was killed by cancer. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. So, Sunday night, I went to see a friend's band play in Toronto, and I've been following his band since I guess OJ Simpson, Glasgow Dave, OJ Simpson. Um, I've been following the band since about 2004, early 2004, and I remember seeing them three times. The first time they toured, the first time they opened up for a band. Who was it now? It was Nash the Slash, and a Canadian guy who played a mandolin and always had bandages around his face and had the Union Jack top hat sort of thing. Um, and was really really cool. I will play him, but I don't want to get dung. But look him up, Nash the Slash. They opened up for Nash the Slash, and then they played. They opened up their own tour to promote their first album. And I still have the album here. It's somewhere. Yeah, there it is, from 2004. You know, and they're a lot like Goblin. If anybody knows who Goblin is. Oh wow! So I even got the tour concert. What's this here? I've got the concert footage. So let's see here. Wow. And that they sent me this to review actually when I was running Cinematic Nocturnia. Hey B, how are you? Back in 2002, they sent me this in 2003, I believe. It looks like. So, sorry, in 2002. So yeah, they formed in 2001. But anyways, getting back to my story, I went down to see their latest tour in Toronto at a place called the Velvet Underground. One of the last vestiges from the 80s tour places. And still a great little location. But what are you going to do? I mean, change is coming, and I don't know how much longer that place is going to be. Hey, I got a T-shirt too. Yeah, this is from their latest album, right? Not the cover though. I was hoping they'd have a T-shirt of the cover. Let's see. But anyhow, moving on. I went to go see them with Dr. Demon Gord. The two of us went down to go see the band Sunday night. Doors opened at 7:30. I think we finally got out of there about 11:30. And yeah, so the area that we're in has always been like the kind of maybe a somewhat of a seedy area of Toronto, west side of Toronto. It's not a horrible area, but it does have its problems. But anyways, last night I was just reading the news, and last night there was a shooting right in front of the Velvet Underground. Um, and Lone gunman. Three people were shot. One perished. But it really makes you think, because I mean, we were there on Sunday. What if this went down on Sunday? Man, it's crazy. You know, things are just absolutely fucked up. And as Alex always puts it, this world needs a fucking enema. It really does. People are just so fucked. You can't go out and enjoy yourself anymore. You know, you look at people who have been cautious and safe their whole lives, and they go to a place and bang, killed. Crazy, you know, crazy. Hey, Sab, how are you? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. It's a shame because I mean, all this stuff does is it makes these people who promote these shows and own these places and the city, the city of Toronto, in this particular case, are going to seriously think about shutting this shit down because you know it. Why attract people to an area where you're putting them at risk? It's ridiculous. You know, it shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way, but unfortunately, it is. And this Canada is it's not the country it was. It's become a lot more violent uh, over the last few years, and in some cases, I want to say a lot like the U.S. The homelessness and so on and so on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do, Sab. There is a lot of issues, and it starts right at the top. The top. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's time for him to go. It's time for that party to go. But does that mean we go for the other guy? I mean, they all have problems. They all have issues, and you can't please everyone. You just can't. And this is the problem. Well, it's not so much a problem here in Canada as it is in the U.S. because the U.S. they have the two-party system. I mean, yeah, you got other parties, but they never ever really get a thought. I mean, there was a few years when Ross Perot was campaigning, uh, and then what's his name? Oh God, the guy from Vermont, I can't, Bernie Sanders, Bernie Sanders. These guys run as independents, and they sort of really give the front runners a run for the money, and obviously they poop out at the end because it's bought, it's paid off, it's scripted, if you will. I mean, let's face it, it's scripted. People will tell you, no, no, what are you fucking talking about? Uh, I don't even want to get into politics. I fucking hate talking about politics. It's too depressing. But anyways, back to what I was going on before the rant. It's really too bad that that area is having the issues it's having, and well, hey, hopefully things are sorted out, and they capture the guy that shot those people. As far as I know, he's still on the loose. And yeah, it's fucking shitty today. It's pouring. It's raining hard. Um, and it's supposed to be like that for the next couple days. So it's really, really depressing. Really depressing. Um, yeah. I will bring in some people here in a few minutes. Let me just see here. Make sure we're all good. Like anybody, but I will. Let's see here. Where the heck are we? And then we'll bring our first victim in. Victims. Victim. Yeah. So anyhow, it's yeah, yeah. B the UK has its issues as well. Yeah, just yeah, it's really a shame. It really is. I mean, things. I wanted to say, Canada was a lot like the UK for, it was in the beginning, not so much anymore. It's it's um it's going down its own path, and its identity is fucking lost. It's just there's no identity to Canada anymore, really. I mean, you know, when people think of Canada, they don't think of fucking Mounties anymore. They don't think of igloos. Not that we ever lived in a fucking igloo or maple syrup. Sure, hey, Safari, I mean, maple syrup, yeah, okay, fine, maple syrup. Tim Hortons now is like worldwide. It's not even Canadian anymore. It's owned by a Brazilian multinational company, you know. And then you got this guy
Mm,
here.
how are you?
I'm good. How about you, Jeff?
Good, good.
Good. Awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about the not politics, but the fakers and
Yeah, well, yeah, I was going to get into that. Because I've been digesting so much. It's not so much watching the content creators, if you will, the people that are, supposedly investigating the paranormal, and you've got a lot of people out there going, "Oh no, they're fake, they're not real," blah blah blah. And there's a lot of them out there that they make a living, debunking these people,
oh yeah,
and to the point of an obsession. And
and
y-
y- y- y- y-
go ahead.
not just an obsession. Some of them they made their channels
Oh, absolutely.
on debunking. There were channels that were non-existent, and all of a sudden, everybody knows them.
Yeah, I sit there and I'm watching them and I'm going, the people that you're debunking. I mean, they're really just content creators, not really, and I'm not going to say any names because I mean, there's, there's four people right now that are hot. Well, two especially that are hot in the paranormal right now. But I mean, it just, oh man,
It's not just hot. It's the whole kind of situation that people are making around it, because okay, there's one thing about calling out
mhm,
people that are asking money to in exchange of a false service.
mhm,
That has to be called out. But if the guy does a video where everything like everybody falls apart, the pictures falls from the walls, and every all the shit hit the fan.
mhm,
But the guy, he wants just to create something spooky,
mhm,
and I would, yeah, don't say it's real. Say it's like a little bit like how it's Tim Morozov, like he does. He
mhm.
says that it's for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. Put a disclaimer up there.
But when you watch his thing,
Mhm,
if the disclaimer wasn't there, it's so good
mhm.
that you would think it's real.
Well, it's much like how the TV shows years ago when they started cropping up, and people were attacking them, saying, "No, well, they gotta fake this stuff because they need content. People will stop following them, or sorry, stop watching the show, and blah blah blah." Folks, it's like, and I always equate it to like when you're a kid and you watched wrestling.
Mm.
I mean, it's the same thing. Wrestling is entertainment. It's not like WWF,
Mhm.
WWE now, whatever. I mean, it's entertainment. It's scripted,
Yeah,
and people have to realize that when you have a show on TV, you have to do this in order to have people continuously watching. You know, and it's a lot like a lot of these high profile content creators on YouTube now. It's the
yeah,
same formula, only here on YouTube, on the net.
exactly. But the whole thing exploded because it started out with Sam and Colby,
Mhm,
and the other two persons that were involved in there.
mhm,
Well, it was everything. It's because they concentrated their investigation on them,
mhm,
and then everybody went after them,
mhm.
and then like all the drama that you know,
All hell broke loose.
and all hell broke loose, and even a guy like Jason Hawes
Yeah.
was dragged into
But
this.
but why though? I mean, we know why. I know why. Do you know why? Do you know why?
Yeah, well, it's his daughter,
It's his daughter, exactly.
Satori. It's his
Yeah,
daughter, and
yeah.
it's in a way he will defend his child
Mhm.
like mm, mm, all other father would do
Exactly.
with their own.
Mhm.
But the thing is, there were some people out there claiming to be in contact with Jason Hawes when
Yeah.
they weren't.
Yeah, I know, I
And
know. I know.
and
That's par that's
yeah,
par for the course.
and there's like something like kind of, and
Mm,
there's the thing, they are good debunkers out
mhm,
there, and I will gladly call them and say yes, that guy, he does his homework, he
mhm,
goes and he doesn't say any bullshit, he doesn't invent like, oh, he sent me something. No, he didn't. If he didn't send you anything, don't say that he sent you something.
mhm,
Don't say anything. So I would take guys like Beardo, like Side Eye Guy. The guys, they do their homework. They
mhm.
go and they research. Where is that place? Is that
Yep.
really a haunted house? Is that a really haunted venue? Is
Mhm,
there a place where we can go and verify those claims? And they find out that most of them are like Airbnbs that you can't rent out, and they're not advertised as haunted.
no, no. No, because I mean, realistically, there's a lot of places like we'll take the Conjuring House, the actual
Hmm.
Conjuring House. I mean, you have to sign a waiver or something, don't you? There's
You have
something
to
that has
sign
to
a
be
waiver, and they have to check your video before you release it.
exactly, exactly, and is that part of the price that you're paying to get in there could possibly be because of that as well. I mean, it's a
Yep,
hefty price. It's expensive.
it's really expensive. It's 12,000. It's 12,000, twelve
Well,
hundred dollars a week,
yeah,
and it's per creator.
yeah.
It's like if I go, I'm a content creator. If I film and my buddy, for example, you film for your YouTube channel, well, you're gonna pay $1,200 as well. It's
Mhm.
$1,200 per creator. That is absolutely insane. I wanted to go to the Conjuring House, but just because of that, I'm sorry, but they won't see my money.
No,
It's a
no.
place, yes, you can rent it as a group, but still, it's like you're asking for an amount of money that, in my opinion, is like absolutely insane.
I know. It's
Again,
real,
I'm
but they're
gonna go
all like
invest.
that though.
Yeah, and
They're
I'm
all
gonna
like
go
that.
investigate a house that is probably, I would say, most haunted, like more haunted than the Conjuring
Mm,
House, the
mm.
Monroe House,
Yep.
and you can have that house for the fraction of that price.
Mhm.
It's 175 US.
Yeah.
and even provide you with everything. You have water, you have pops, you have snacks, you have everything. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of I kind of get, some places why, at least what they say they're charging for this amount of money is to upkeep the location.
Mm.
There's some locations that really need it or in dire need of it. I get it. Um, but other places, they charge these outlandish fees and not a penny of it goes into the upkeep of the actual location. Not
Nope.
a dime, not a
Nope.
cent.
You go there the year after, it's still the same, and the holes are at the same place. it's um, it's just I've it's when owners know that they have a popular place because of a certain content creator that went there and give the hype to the place.
Mhm.
That's when we lose those places.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And and it's sad because every I'm pretty sure that most of paranormal investigators that do this for a purpose dreamed or dreamt of going to the conjuring house, and
Yeah.
when they see the prices, well, I won't sell a kidney just to go to do a paranormal investigation. It's like, what? And for some teams, it's like it was kind of a bucket place, a place to that everybody wanted to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Little
exactly.
safari. So it's like putting Walt Disney unaccessible to kids. Put it
It's
like this.
it's kinda like that already, isn't it? I mean, the price that you have to pay to go in there is just absolutely
Oh,
crazy. It's just
but
insane to go to
it's
Disney.
insane, but yeah.
It's insane the money that you pay. I mean, yeah, you go to like what is it, Celebration, or it used to be called Celebration. I don't know what it's called now. It's like you can walk through there. There's no admittance fee to get in there, but you still got to pay, to go into the
Yeah.
actual main park. But yeah,
But even but the thing is, it's those known places, and and the thing is that they will bring, because yes, the place is haunted.
Mhm.
Like I, I don't doubt the fact that it's haunted, but it's not as haunted as, I don't know, a Waverly Hills that, yeah, it's $1,000, but look at the size of the building comparing to the Conjuring House.
Well, yeah.
You
There's
have
there's another place.
a whole kind of a like hospital building. It's huge,
Eight hundred
but
800,000 square feet.
compared to a small farmhouse in
Yeah,
Rhode Island,
yeah. But I mean, the thing about Waverly, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna make sure there's windows put in and blah blah blah.
yeah.
They to this day they've only done the first two floors, and it's the amount of money that they've generated. Come on, they've generated so much money at that place.
It's
You
pretty
know they
sure
have.
that most of them pocket the money.
Mhm.
It's there's no doubt about it. But when you talk about no places, and the other thing is about the fakers is when they go to a place, a well-known
Mhm.
place,
Yep.
and they fake stuff, and then a truthful investigator go to the same place and catches like barely anything, catches a couple of things, but not as much as the others.
Yeah.
And then they come and well, you're not good. You can't you can't investigate because so and so when he went there, everything went haywire and everything was moving, and you went there, nothing was happening. It's like, I know, it's how it works. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
and when you try to argue with them, they always have that argument. I stopped arguing, and I
Well,
when I
yeah,
see
yeah, dude.
comments like that, I just like, that's it. Okay. I just, oh, Dave, I just brush him aside. It's and it hurts. And the other thing that hurts is that when you're a truthful investigator, you put a short, because nowadays the trend is you have to put shorts. Shorts is the thing. So when you
Mm.
put up shorts about a situation that happens in a video, and then I had that comment. I deleted it because like I'm not arguing with that guy. And it's that when I grab my heart and Spirit Talker says done at the same exact time that I feel like a pressure on my heart. And the guy goes, "You're the reason why people think paranormal is fake."
Yep. Yep. It's
And
it's the same when it's the same. So go ahead. Go ahead.
and it hurts. It hurts
Mhm.
because you know you're truthful. You know that at that occasion that hurt.
But I've always said, if you want to get into this, you want to do this
No,
seriously,
yeah, you have
uh,
to have a
you
thick
have to have
skin.
a thick skin. You do. You don't have a thick skin, then you shouldn't be doing this.
Mm.
You shouldn't be, because I mean, there's lots of people out there that will scrutinize the shit out of whatever you present.
Oh yeah.
And that's fine. And I've from day one have welcomed it. I mean, I've had, if I could only find that file. I know I got it here somewhere. Oh my god. I honestly, I had one guy. Oh my god, like a stalker, and this guy was something else. Oh my god, I got the file
Whoa.
somewhere. I got to
But
show you guys this. I
I
got to find
found
this.
it when I read that, I found it funny because I said, like, I'm the most honest guy out there. I'm the first one to yell out about fakers, about you have to be really careful about everything. And, and that guy comes and like, well, yeah, the reason why. It's like, what the hell? Can you elaborate, please? Did you watch the rest of the video?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Well, so hello, Sam.
How you doing,
Well,
Sam?
good afternoon, good evening, good morning,
Afternoon.
everybody watching across the world.
It's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
I've been very busy, my friend. I have been so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good,
Finishing
man.
off the studio and the back all done.
Finished, done, finished, done. Yeah, I'll give you a little tour before we get chatting about the fakers and the degenerates of the paranormal world. So
Look at
I've
this
got my
guy. Look at this guy. Holy shit. Hey, look at his
a new chop
workshop.
saw table. I've got so many new tools now. Honest to God, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I've put all my
But
tools in
don't
there
you
now.
find that when you expand an area, you also expand fill it with expansion? Yeah, you fill it.
Little's got her own room in there as well with the skylight on, so she's got her
Nice.
own little craft room inside of there. Craft room inside of here is now chock-a-block full of stuff. How much stuff I got in the serious. Toilet's all finished up and everything, so the tap's all running water and serious.
Look at this guy, eh?
Running
Holy
water with a train that goes outside as well. You can see it through the window there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, toilet think. I don't need to go down to the house to do anything really. I can do it all up here. You know what it's like when you're in the workshop, you need a quick pee or something, you have to stop doing what you're doing, run down, do you know what I mean?
And run back
It's a
into the house.
you know what it's like. You know what I mean? Yeah, all them little things like they're just well, it's so much easier now because it's all in one little space, like so.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been making and creating so much stuff. This week I have been mostly making crossbows.
Crossbows. Wow.
Yeah, crossbows and handguns. You know, little handguns. There's one with a trigger mechanism.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out now. I just sorted the trigger mechanism out last night as well for the crossbow. Wow. So been sat down doing all that sort of stuff. Hey, that's quite tedious as well, you know, getting your head around all that mechanism. Yeah, honestly, yesterday, no joke, I spent about 5 hours just purely with my engineering mind trying to sort it, trying to suss it all out. Like, yeah, I did it. I got there. Look, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I got there. It's a proper trigger now. Well, I took an old printer apart, so I got all the springs out of it and little motors and all. reclaiming something else to make something else with. Yeah, upcycling basically. But yeah. Anyway, right. So other than that, I'm doing really well with the workshop. Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, I am. I'm progressing very well, as you can imagine. Hence why, like you've seen, I disappear for a couple of 3 weeks as well, just so I can focus on doing what I need to do. Yeah, it's, you know what life's like. Yeah. But anyway. So, Colby, Sam and Colby. There's a few of them actually, like the Conjuring House. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're part of this paranormal group of people, then you'll know who is and who isn't fake. What's the face now? There's a couple that go out and they do use quite a lot of like electrical devices, etc. You know, cat balls, all the rest of that. You know, REM pods, and they try and keep it so much on a level as well. So they're trying to scientifically explain what that could have been, or whether it was this, that, or the other. Personally, I don't think any electrical device that we own, possess, or created in our time of being on this planet Earth, I don't think any of it's going to tap into the paranormal realm. And
I've always been skeptical. I always have been, because we do. I mean, we do know very little.
Exactly.
Oh my God!
You know, we know very little.
Look at for example, look at this right now. What I mean by this, I'll give you an example of what I mean, an explanation of what I mean by this. Yep. Our personal human senses can only see a fraction of the scale of the spectrum of the frequencies available. And that, I mean, like on sound, I mean it on sight, I mean it on light, I mean it on all of them different wavelength frequency spectrums. We, as humans, can only see a little tiny sliver of it. So what we need to actually be able to do is create devices that can tap into the rest of it. Yeah. So that little sliver that we see, that all the devices that we have now only tap into what we can already see. So it's like, and I don't mean like see personally as in with your eyes. I mean like what we know about and what we can do. You know what I mean? Like, we need devices that can tap into the rest of the spectrum and then program it so it translates that extra spectrum into our normal spectrum, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You can use that, For fabric clothes. That's an old t-shirt that I ripped up for rags, but you can use it. You just need scissors, do you? Yeah. And what do you need when we use scissors?
Be careful.
You need adult supervision, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an adult first. That's great. And that's, to be fair, I'll give you full credit. That's exactly what you came and done. Like, Daddy, I need to chop this up. Can we get some scissors, please?
Wait, Dad. Look at that jug.
Long time ago.
Beautiful jar.
It is a beautiful jar, that one, isn't it? It's a glass. Oh, that one, that little one.
That's cute.
That's a wine bottle, that one.
One.
Anyway, so you're always going to get fakers and people of that description, right? Yeah, you're always going to find it. You're always going to get these people because, like drama, I've noticed this. As you know, I've been part of like a very wide spectrum of YouTube creators, streamers, and all the rest of it. Like, yeah. So I've been on a lot of live streams. Right? I've also been part of a lot of different groups, and as you do, like, yeah.
Yep.
And you see it. I see it plain as day. Every single day I've seen it. Since the day I joined YouTube and all the rest of it. Drama sells. Drama sells.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
People want, a lot of people want the drama. And like these little channels that we have, you'll notice we always stay small because we don't invite the drama. We don't invite it into our space. We don't want it.
Well, you like the whole thing.
And because of that, you'll only find true people.
Yeah.
And there's very little true people knocking about. Yeah. Most of the people, we've been programmed, we've been conditioned, we've been raised in a system that programs you into believing a certain linear perspective.
Yeah.
So when you've broken free of that, when you've broken free personally of that linear perspective, which is it's a very low band, it kept us on a very low band. Hang on a minute, darling. I'm talking. As soon as I stop talking, right. So yeah, when you've broken free of that very low linear perspective band, which is it's arguments, it's drama, it's just feeling, it's a negative emotion, and you must, and if you're aware of it, then you know as well. You remove yourself out of that. You bring yourself up onto a higher consciousness plane, a better way of living, a more. I don't entertain none of it either. I don't entertain none of the drama, none of the BS. No, I don't entertain it. I just don't do it. It's as simple as that. I've deleted my channel previously, haven't I? Do you know what I mean? Completely deleted it and then started a fresh one. Like, right now we've cut the wheat from the chaff. Let's start again. And it's no biggie at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people get hung up, and that's a conditioning thing as well. Like so many people are caught on this kind of like, well, I need to keep that. I put so much effort into that.
It's their soap opera. It's their weekly soap opera. Yeah. They need it. They need that drama. They thrive on that thing. I've said it on one of my live streams. Like, if you're not part of the drama that is going on right now, you're not the show that everybody's watching. You're the show in between. So you're the show that where people go to the bathroom and go and fix themselves a sandwich because probably another episode of the drama show is coming about. So and that's the sad thing. And the other thing that drives certain persons to fake is the hype, the money, the lure of money. Yeah,
exactly that. That's what I was going to say. Because it brings in the money. The drama sells. That brings in the money. It's a continuous. It's like a vicious cycle, we'll call it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you
exactly.
A lot of people, they'll start off with the best intentions, as you was talking about politics earlier. It's exactly the same path. A lot of people start off with good intentions down that yellow brick road, and I'm going to fix this and I'm going to do that. But so far down the path, they've met the Tin Man and they've met, you know what I mean? They've met the lion without the heart, so on and so forth. And these people change their influence, they change their path, and then they end up on the wrong path of that yellow brick road they initially set out on. I can see it. It's corruption. So, and it's the same with the YouTube as well. As soon as that drama starts selling, it's look, we make 10 times more doing the drama and the fakery than what we do if we kept it real.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Or just having that that proof that everybody's looking, that shadow figure or that. So and because they want those clicks to come in and they want that money to come in. So.
Skinwalker, yeah. Them little taglines, it just does it makes me feel
like I went into this house and this is what happened.
And they say skinwalkers in the UK, okay, and or here in Canada, it's like No, it's not. We have one legend here in, I would say, the eastern part of Canada is the Wendigo,
Wendigo.
and that's it. And because one known group
Hey,
trended
Luke, how
that
are you?
Skinwalker name, well, it followed and it became a click, a word that you want to put in your title, because when people go and search for it, they will search for
Hey, Lorenzo.
Skinwalker. So those videos will pop up, like the demons, or the night I barely died, or I quit after this investigation. You know, uh, those kinds of words will bring your video up, so it sells. And I saw somebody releasing a video
You
talking
kn-
about a Wendigo in a cave
yeah.
in Colorado. It's like,
No, we're not saying that the Skinwalker is fake or anything.
Cultural
That's not what
appropriation.
we're saying. I mean, no, we're just saying it's concentrated to a certain area. Where up here, it's the Wendigo, as opposed to a Skinwalker. Are they the same? Quite possibly, but I mean, it's just a different legend, right? It's just a different,
exactly.
yeah. But I
They-
mean, it's native in origin, right? I mean,
I was going to say it has a different origin story. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the word.
yeah,
The thing you're looking for. It's a different origin story. But
exactly.
it could be the same entity, but just with a different origin
So
story. Okay.
Lorenzo's saying that in the UK they have skinwalkers.
Skinwalker's area. I
Skin-
would really doubt it.
Skinwalker,
Because that is in the Navajo belief. It's their
yeah.
devil. The Navajo, the Skinwalker, it's their devil.
Skintagular.
Like for us in
Uh,
Canada, in the Algonquin beliefs, the Wendigo is kind of a devil, because it's 1636 when that old lady told a story to that Jesuit missionary. Well, she was
Hey,
trying
man.
to frighten them. She was trying to get them to leave, because they were they were they were people with black robes. They were different. So you have to put yourself into the head of native people in 16 in the early 17th century that never saw white men, and they saw a guy come in with a black robe talking about his god. Well, I'll talk to you about my god. I'm going to talk to you about the worst one.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite possible. Yeah, sure, it's quite possible. But I mean, are they really skinwalkers? I mean, are all these legends? They all have like a different name. I mean, they're given a different name, but are in fact the same thing. I mean, yeah, it's quite possible. We don't know. I mean,
Equivalent, yeah, yeah. And that's the other thing. Could those creatures could be earthly beings that got saw by some natives, some people, you know, not saying that they didn't had any education, but
yeah,
they were in a point of time in their evolution when for them everything was supernatural. Um, and if there were some earthly being, some, I don't know, some extraterrestrial that came here, and a native saw that thing, probably in his head, it was like, the heck, that's, and he created that name. We
because of
don't
the
know.
number of
We weren't
UFO
there.
sightings. Where?
So it
Where?
is an interest. It is an interesting thing for you to think about. A speculation, we'll call it. But you see, like films like Superman,
Mhm.
right?
I've been called a liar now.
You've been called a liar.
Yeah.
Like, so, for example, like Superman, if there was never a film made like it, never any books written about it, never any comics written about it. But then somewhere along the lines in our history, there was maybe some sort of like myth, we'll call it, maybe a story or book was made at one point, right? But then that book was lost, if you get my drift. Like, but then because that little town got so vested in that little book and whatnot, all the kids then carried that on as like a legend, a myth. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But then in future generations to come, it becomes like the boogie monster. You know, so like if you don't eat your greens and you don't go to bed early,
you're going to turn into the boogie monster.
The boogeyman,
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
you're going to turn into it.
Yeah, and then that turns into obviously a couple of generations down the line where then people exaggerate on it and they say, "Oh, I saw a Superman." Do you know what I mean? Oh, it was something that was flying through the sky. Do you know what I mean? But it matches all the description of this myth and this legend from way back when, and obviously the history of that is lost, but the origin is just a boogeyman story to get the kids to go to bed early, etc., etc. Tooth fairy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, form of control,
And legends sometimes they will they well not come from not a truth, but somewhere something happened and somebody made it bigger than it was. So
quite possible. Quite possible.
We don't know. We weren't there at that point of time. Like for the Wendigo, the only accounts that I can verify are the stories that was told by an early native woman, by my grandmother, and by what I read in the history books.
Legends.
So legends, but where did it come from? Where it was written the first time? That's where I found out it was a Jesuit monk that wrote it. And when you look at the way the Wendigo will carry itself, you realize that, well, that's a grandmother's legend to tell the little kids not to go play in the woods because
don't stray off the path. Yeah.
Well, exactly, because
it'll probably drag you in and eat you.
The Wendigo is a loner. He doesn't live in the community. He doesn't share with the community. He's an outsider. And when he's in the woods, well, he hunts like the Iroquois were hunting. He hides behind the trees and he lures out and he slashes his enemies and he vanishes.
And he knows his landscape inch by inch as well. So there was no way of catching him. There was no way of even catching a glimpse of it because he knew where he was, what he was doing, and how to do it. Like, an ultimate predator, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like the stories to say to the little ones, don't go out of the village because you'll meet up the Wendigo. But in fact, they didn't want them to get kidnapped by Iroquois tribes and other tribes. So they would be because you have to know that the native different tribes, they were killing if necessary.
Yeah.
Because most of the time they were taking hostage. They were taking them as slaves.
Here's a question for you. You know, we've had 5 mass extinctions in the Earth's history
that we know
of. Yeah. Now, what do you think the possibilities of an intelligent civilization or civilizations that might have existed here on Earth? And I mean, there's been kind of some
lizard people. Lizard people might have come to a civilization point where actual, like you hear of the lizard people, etc., etc. Well, think of it this way. So obviously, dinosaurs obviously got to a point where they were so advanced, etc., that they become so big and so. I mean, look how complex they are. Obviously, they're living creatures. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So there could have been, theoretically, logically speaking, there could have been a race, let's say, or a humanoid type of lizard creature that came out and developed in a similar way that we did, but then because of the mini ice age that was caused many thousands of years ago. Maybe that wiped most of them out, and then there was just like a little bit of them left over, you know, like a residual, you know what I mean, as you would say, of the species. But then obviously we grew into being what we are, humanoid, etc. You know what I mean? And as a species, and then we obviously hunted them out of out of existence, because obviously they would probably. I mean, think about it: most lizards, crocodiles, etc., etc. They would eat the carnivores, so they would eat mammals, if that makes sense. It would make. Yeah, it would make a lot of sense if mammals, therefore, instinctively hunted them back again, or kept them as a predator. You kill a predator, obviously, like, do you know what I mean? If you came face to face with it, and they obviously need to eat, etc. So they were going off hunting. If they didn't go off hunting, they'd die anyway, starvation. And in their bouts of hunting, they got killed off themselves. It doesn't. I mean, it's not far from the possibility of realm of logical thinking to say that there could have been, like my avatar picture here. Look, that's the alien.
But I mean,
not too far-fetched to think that could have been a possibility. Yeah, of course.
And the scientists all agree that there's that cell that survived all those cataclysms.
Yeah,
and
the reptilians. Yeah.
Yeah, and that cell was the first cell that came on Earth and created the dinosaurs. And when the dinosaurs were wiped out, well, that cell stayed kind of hidden somewhere. And after the glaciation, well, those cells regenerated into other creatures. But what is that particular cell? I'm pretty sure that cell is the key to everything.
So on that note, obviously, if you do any research about space travel, etc., tardigrades, one of the smallest living organisms that we've got. They've sent them out to space. They've left them up in space for a couple of years, brought them back again. They're hydrophobic. They can literally survive. I think it's like
survive anything
without going and looking, without looking at the actual studies on it. If you look at the tardigrade, microscopic, but still, that to me says that there's a possibility, the panspermia theory.
Yeah, panspermia.
Another planet may have exploded, and on that a bit of that planet landed on us as an asteroid, and that little, as you said, that two-celled organism was then able to find a little spot on this planet and go, oh, actually, there's a bit of water here, there's a bit of moisture here, was this nice and warm, and therefore it carried on, like,
there's so, and when you look at the ocean here. I mean, how much of the ocean have we explored?
Oh,
I mean, there's so much.
15%. Out of 100% of the waters on this planet, we've only discovered 15% of it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so much to understand still here on the Earth that and we're going, well, look at, we're causing mass, extinction to the Earth with our actions, and we need to take it easy. And it's not a natural cycle. No, it's not. We're causing all of this. And
well, not all of it, because I've seen studies like just carbon monoxide levels. They took some samples in the Arctic, even in the Antarctic, and they realized that. Well, sorry, but they realized that back in the dinosaur days, the carbon monoxide levels were higher. Way higher than, and there were no cars around.
I've looked at the study on that. I actually watched the documentary on that, pulling all them big tubes out of the Antarctic ice and that. And I'm doing the studies on the ice as well. It wasn't methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So all the stuff that they're basically saying global warming that we're causing. Trust me, our planet can take a 2,000 and more times what we've got already before it has a dramatic impact on the planet.
Yeah, but we're not helping.
Trees need carbon dioxide. I mean,
Yeah.
you strangle the atmosphere of carbon dioxide. We're fucked. The trees are fucked. Everything else is
Everything-
fucked.
Anything
So
that breathes.
it's a
Everything that
part of the
breathes.
$500,000 or 500,000 population agenda. No,
And we're yes, we're a part of it, but
yeah,
when you look at everything, it's like, okay, we're probably part of a problem, but the earth is at a state that it's like the second ice age. It wasn't as bad as the first one, but it was kind of hard. And
Yeah.
it was, I think, late 1700, early 1800s. People were freezing at places they were like usually growing palm trees.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the earth was at a certain point in time that humans were used to. And
Climatized. We were climatized to it, and then when the
Climatized.
climate
exactly.
for example, traveling north and south in England, I live down south in England. Like, yeah, it's much warmer down here. I'll tell you that. I go up north every 6 weeks, and I go to the Midlands of England. Like, yeah, I get off that train. When I get off that train up in the Midlands, I have to put an extra layer on. I'm not joking. I have to put an extra layer on, and
We're
that's just going up.
actually
So you can imagine with that theory that you've just said there, you can imagine if it dropped 10, 15 degrees in a place, do you know what I mean? That is usually, let's say, mediocre. Like, do you know what I mean? Like maybe almost tropical. So you've come from a tropical background. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
If the Caribbean froze over now, most of them people wouldn't survive that.
I've seen.
Have you
when
seen
I-
all the freezings that have been going on over in China as well? Full ponds. Literally
when I
full
went-
ponds. All
when
the
I
ducks
went to
frozen in it.
I'm lucky enough to have gone to the North Pole, and like I say, North Pole, it's it's the North. Look at CFS alert anywhere, and you'll see that it's up there. And I've seen with my own eyes, freaking tree stump. They were a kind of extinct palm tree, but it was turned into stone. But it was an actual freaking tree stump. It was huge.
Yeah, the petrified trees out in Arizona. I've seen all that sort of stuff as well. And there's
those were up north. So it's and over there, yes, there's a military station, but there's a station, a weather station for Environment Canada, and they were telling me that the earth is changing all the time.
yeah.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
And
The axis,
pole.
right?
The poles are shifting. I was just see, Steve's on it straight away. The axis of the
the
Earth.
axis. Yeah.
Every single day, it's gone a couple of inches, and you can check it on
Yep.
the map as well. Like you can have a look at, I think it's Google Earth or whatever it is it's on, and
Yeah.
they pinned it from where. If you look 20 years ago at where the North Pole was situated, North and South Pole were situated, you'll see they've actually moved. And when you look at the map and then go into the scale of it, that's quite far. They've moved quite far, really.
Well,
And that's just
20
in
years,
20
yeah.
years.
Just
Yeah,
in
that's
20 years, yeah.
just in 20 years. So you can imagine 200 years, 2,000 years, 2 million years. How much of this Earth, this planet that we're this thing, this is it flat? Is it ball? I don't know. Is it donut? I don't know what shape it is. I've not been out there and looked at it personally from a book, so I can't really say. But let's just go on speculation that we're living on a globe. So yeah. After 2,000 years, let's say, how much have we completely pole shifted?
I don't know.
Doing it? Is it always doing it? Is it always doing it continuously? It's continuously shifting and shifting and shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Again,
Shifting at a point in the universe and come back.
but
you know,
I'm going to throw you a little nugget here that's going to twist the perception of all of that. How did the Mayans, let's say, or the Egyptians, or these ancient civilizations, how did they line up to the same constellations at the same points on the planet if our Earth is constantly rotating, moving around?
Well, that's the thing, right?
How are we still looking at the same constellations in the same place in the sky so many thousands of years ahead of the time
and that brings
document.
you and that brings
It
you
can
into and that brings you into thinking about when the Mayan calendar was ending at 2012.
Don't get me started about calendars. I'll be here all week.
But no, but I'm saying, and it's just another reason why. But yeah, calendars.
Calendars. Well, which calendar do you use? Think about this now.
The
For logical
Gregorian,
reasons.
no.
Gregorian calendar, exactly that. Now, how many calendars actually are in use on the planet right now? How many calendars are actually different calendars? You've got your Ethiopian calendar, and that's I think that's
Chinese,
is that
Vietnamese.
13 months? Chinese, so you got your Asian calendar, we'll call
Yeah.
it, because most of them over in Asia use that calendar, we'll call it, like, yeah. And you got your Gregorian calendar, which is most in the Western Hemisphere. Look at this now. When you actually look at the different calendars, you'd be a different age on each calendar.
Well,
Oh,
your
yeah.
birthday, yeah. Well, you look at the old zodiac system. There was 13, not 12, but 13.
Exactly.
Well, they go like every they put your age in the kind of
That's a
you're kind
perspective.
of always the same age, but not at the same point of time of like the others.
So, but right, we'll go back, and this brings me into like kind of like biblical scriptures where people aged to say 500. You know what I mean? There were people like Noah's Ark, all the rest of that. These people, Gilgamesh, these people were actually documented for living several hundred years. What if they didn't actually live for several hundred years? They were just on a different calendar completely. If you have a 4-month calendar, you're going to age a lot faster than someone on a 12-month calendar. That person on the Gregorian calendar has got to go through 12 months of so much time. You get me now? What I'm saying? You've got to go through that 12 months instead of 4 months before you age a year. So if you're only on a 4-month calendar, let's call it 4 seasons, yeah, 4 seasons, 4 months calendar. Now that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of logic. We've gone through that.
It does.
Through that period, which is that month, we'll call it. And the month might have been named something completely different then as well. Yeah. So it was just a season. So they went through 4 seasons. That was to us, that's like months. They've broken it down. The reason the Gregorian calendar was brought in and instituted the way it was for taxation purposes during the Roman times.
Yeah.
So they actually changed it so they can have like a calendar system where they could collect taxes. Now, if you only have it once every season, which makes sense as well when you think about it, you come to the end of harvest, which is autumn. You've got a lot more in that to tax than you have in the, over the Christmas season, over the spring season, over the summer season. Yeah, it makes sense, that, doesn't it? So what they did was they kind of made it a monthly thing. So we ended up 12 months over the year, so and break it down here. And he even tried to tweak it so we had like leap years, and we'll take an hour off this end, we'll take an hour off and put an hour back on at that end for this. You know what I mean? They keep tweaking it all the time when you think about it. So I agree. Honestly, don't get me started with calendars.
I agree with what Luke said. It's age is a perception, time is a perception. Yeah. It's true. It's man-made.
I'm 43 years old, but I don't feel and I don't look 43 years old. I genuinely, I don't.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. Think about how life would be so much different if we didn't follow a calendar or time.
Yeah, exactly. If time wasn't as set out the way it was, exactly that. And you would value your time more than just dwindling it away. Oh, I've got tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
tomorrow never comes. If you look
think of all the negative shit that comes out of fucking paying attention to time.
Yeah. The stress, the anxiety,
the stress.
Yeah.
I've only got so much time to get this done. You have to work 8 hours. It's like, oh my God, I got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
You got to wait.
I'll have time.
Yeah. You got to wait until the end of the month to get paid. Yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah, so on. Honestly, yeah. If we didn't have that time construct the way that we do and the way that we follow it, life would be immensely different. Yeah.
Completely. Oh, absolutely. Life would be so different with that man-made construct.
I started, and you saying that, and you because I'm watching the series Shogun, and you know, the Japanese,
Mhm.
yeah, that's that lifestyle, you know,
That laid
where
back. And,
life and death is really, really important, especially death and the beheading and everything. But
well, it's honor, right? I mean, you honor
yeah,
your
but
life, and if you shame, you pay for it. You
yeah,
literally,
but
okay.
you know, they always live in the moment
Mhm.
they're living, and like there's a scene they're pissed at each other and they're talking like there's anything wrong. It's like, what the frick? She's telling you that she's living you, like, and he's just sitting there like, you know, and they're they didn't had that notion of time. They were living the moment like it was. So
1999.
I think
Uh-huh.
that's it. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't squander. Yeah, that's perfectly the example, right? Yeah. To be fair, it's
Yeah.
you'd be more respectful of your time. You wouldn't squander it.
You wouldn't be partying like it's 1999.
yeah.
Or if you put it in the opposite perspective, now you think of it in this. I go through it. I've gone through it myself recently, like building this workshop that I've got now. It's taken me 6 months to build it. It's taken me, do you know what I mean, that amount of time. But it took me fucking 35 years to actually get to the point of thinking to myself, I should have a workshop.
I got all this space here. Why don't I should do something about it?
Yeah, I've got skills and I've got technique and I've got everything to do. You
I
know
need
what
to
I mean? Like,
apply myself.
right, seriously, look at it. It's jam packed. It's everything I need and more.
But yeah, you use the excuse and say, "Look it off. Fuck, I don't have time for this. I got to do this. I got to do that." It's just,
And it
but you
all
know what?
started.
Make the
Steve sat
time.
and watched
Do
me
it.
go through all of this as well. See,
Yeah.
Steve come back to it. Steve actually watched me do this as well.
Yeah.
So let's say for the nearly 4 years that I've been on YouTube, like I am now as a presence, like exactly like this on people's channels. What I've been here for what, good 3 years, haven't I? On your channel, I've been floating out. It's been
Oh
good
yeah, absolutely,
2 years.
absolutely. Yeah.
But that is when I stopped working on the building site. I
Yeah.
literally took myself out of that construct of that society had been
And you're
pushing on me.
doing it.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And what I did was I traded my time into myself
Mhm.
instead of trading my time into somebody else's prospects and opportunities and their well-being and doing that job for them and then making 100 grand and then going sailing around on their yacht because I worked to get them that money. Why don't I trade my skills, my techniques into myself? And I won't lie, it has been a bit of a financial kind of situation. I wouldn't say hard, but you know, we've still got food in the cupboard. The bills are always paid, etc., etc. The kids are always looked after.
Mhm.
I've still been up and down the country to see my other kid as well. Do you know what I'm saying? I've done everything that I would have done, but I just haven't had as many luxuries, let's say. As in, like, I don't drink anymore, which is a good thing.
Well, yeah.
I haven't drank. I literally haven't had a drop of alcohol in over 2-3 years now. I think last time I had a bottle of bloody gin, didn't I? Remember? that was like one of the final crunches. That was because I was online as well, and I ended up like really blackout drunks. Yeah, I had to get back online again the next day and apologize. Did I say anything wrong? Did I upset anybody? Or
What the hell did I do?
I'm a happy
I
drunk,
put myself
so, yeah.
out there. I'm not. Look.
I had some serious for people, but other than that, no, it was all good.
Ma'am, is why do some days?
If you trade your time into yourself rather than into a system that isn't going to pay you back, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that's exactly what I've done, and look, it paid off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just determination every day. Do a little bit more. Keep at it. I'm excited every time. Every day I wake up, I'm excited. This little studio room I've got now, I mean, it's got everything in it. You know what I mean? Little mixer,
ma'am's asking. Why do some days go by quickly and others drag? Well, you know what? You need to buy into Steve Will's perception and go by the chocolate advent calendar. and
Right,
it'll
so
go by quickly.
I've been
It'll
thinking
go
about
by
this,
real quickly.
Mr. Wells, I've been thinking about this. So, right, what we're going to do is you've brought me into Parliament and I'll extend the Christmas period for 48 days rather than 20, so you get more. You get 2 calendars.
Yeah. Hey, Adrian, how are you?
Just for you, my man, just for you.
I'll just eat them all.
Adrian.
But
Um,
I know where you're coming from, Sab, because I kind of realized the same thing when the army decided that I wasn't in their mold anymore. Well, I tried anything. I tried to find myself because I was supposed to readapt myself to the society. So I was in the army for 7 years, and they were telling me when to wake up and when to go to sleep and when to eat.
Institutionalized. I'm an army bro. I was born and raised in the army. Never joined it, but I was born and raised in it. So yeah.
And having my PTSD because I went to Bosnia in 1995, instead of helping me, they just like decided, well,
Off you go.
we don't need problems like you anymore. And
Off you go.
so you're living kind of a breakup with the army because
mhm.
army was kind of my life, and trying to readapt myself, trying to work for a endless job, or and getting my health, not taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And before the pandemic, I was working as a guard on armored vehicle. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm risking my life every
For somebody
day
else.
for a boss that lives in Dubai, and I
Yeah.
have him. Like, the army can take care of me because, well, if I'm like this now, it's because of them, and
Yeah.
because of helping me, they decided to, well, we'll let you go. And now I take care of myself, I do what I love, and I don't have to uh, mm, uh,
Rely on somebody else.
Yeah.
yeah, or just have the thought that I work for somebody else, that he's
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
richer and I'm busting my ass. I'm
Yeah,
busting
that's
my ass for me now.
yeah, that was one of the crunches for me as well. That's one of the biggest crunches for me as well. And it was during the pandemic time as well. Was when, because that's when it was like I was given the choice basically, have the old pinprick in my arm or not to carry on working. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want no pinprick in my arm, so you can stop your job and I'll go and find somewhere else. Well, as it was, because obviously more sites are, obviously you got loads of different traders on site. So I'm a
Yeah.
general builder. I'm a general builder by trade, which is half decent money. Like, do you know what I mean? It took me 20 years to do it. Like, you know what I mean? I had to work on site for 20 years, as starting off as labourer, working all the way up. So, do you know what I mean? I got ticket machines for all the
But
machines. Stuff
the
like
thing
that.
is, you
I have
have
to go.
talent and you're applying it.
This is what I'm saying. If I went back on site now, though, I have to reapply for all of my tickets, all of my little cards.
Yeah.
Where's my wallet?
Yeah.
Yes, well, I can show my cards as well. Like, show you all the different machines. I'm a first aider. I'm a fire marshal. Literally, I've done it all, and I got all the little ticket cards to put in my wallet to show when I'm on site. Do you know what I mean? Got it
Yeah.
all, and
It's the same here.
That's literally for the money of it as well. Because if you're a fire marshal, you can get an extra couple of quid on your wage. If you're a first aider, you get an extra couple of quid on your wage. If you can drive machines, God, you're on like 20, nearly £30 a fucking hour on them machines. It's money all day, like, and you sat on your ass just pushing me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not for the love of, and like you say, I've been through all of this. I know I can train. I know I've got the knowledge for it. I know I've got the skills, and I'm able to do it. Why not trade that for myself and then start? I'll show you some of the stuff I make as well. Honestly, this week has been phenomenal. I've made loads of little lamps. I've made I've made some tables. I haven't shown you, have I? Because obviously I've not been online. I've just been doing what I do, like, and cracking on. But, here's a little piece for you. I'll show you. So I do what's called Lichtenberg. Racks on wood burning.
Mm.
I take an old microwave transformer, turn it into a new machine, and I blast the wood with like 2,000 to 5,000 volts of electricity.
Yeah, you put the
Wow.
electricity, and the electricity follows, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so cool.
That is.
That's
neat.
beautiful.
I've been doing that for like 6-7 years. I did it before it even became a trend on YouTube. I was doing this shit already, me.
That's cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So, and I'm literally, I've got some nice tables I've been making down there. I got some really nice. Yeah, I'll show you like the workshop bit that I've been working on. It's so messy and everything at the minute because everything's everywhere. But like,
It wouldn't be you, Sab, if it wasn't.
hey, it's because I'm partway through. So I've been taking like these slices that I've been making out of
Yeah.
an old beech tree, and the beech tree's got some nice paranormal connections as well. Comes from an old manor that's over 200 years old, and this tree was over 100 years old in the garden. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, nice.
I went doing a bit of a painting job with him, and the guy who owns the place is Michael Dempsey, the bass player for The Cure, the band The Cure, and,
Oh,
and the
no way.
Alternative.
Yeah.
A little bit of a
Yeah,
clever
sure.
name there too. So yeah, I got, because of this beech tree, I got loads of it, and I'm not joking. He said just like help yourself to it.
Oh my God! Look at the logs.
So I literally took half the tree that was laid on the. You know what I mean? Just yeah. It had been hit by lightning and all sorts as well. So
Oh.
what I do is I take them, and then I get the Lichtenberg, and I put the Lichtenberg on it, and then I
Nice.
stand it up. I put it on a base.
Dad,
Yeah. So I make some bases to the smaller bits. There's one ready to root right. Nice thick base.
Owen's house couldn't climb up my bed.
And then I root it into the base like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I put a lamp in the back. I've got loads of light fittings and all sorts. I put a lamp fitting in the back of there. And then I put an Edison bulb onto it so it makes it look, some nicey.
Yeah.
So this week I've been mostly making lamps.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, like I knew I had a talent somewhere, but I can't freaking like drive a nail straight. So I'm good with engines, and I realized that I'm good at editing. I'm good with images
Mhm.
and like cinematics and stuff like that. So that's why I started this, and now I'm having fun, and I'm in the works of producing a documentary that will probably I'm aiming to have it nationwide because it's a good story. So,
Hey, okay. So
Have you seen what I've done for Betty so she can get up
Yeah.
there? I put all the climbing pegs up, and then obviously from there it goes up into the top bit here.
oh, she's got the little
Yeah, it's got a skylight and everything. She loves it as well. Look. She's got all the foamy bits that I've been using. She's pulled them all in there.
So,
not bad.
OJ won the poll, by the way. I'm gonna end it. OJ 65%, OJ's
Oh,
son
yeah.
12%, and somebody else 23%.
He did it. He did it. Like you watch his first trial, you can read it in his forehead, like guilty, right here.
Yeah.
Especially when he tries the gloves.
I was only a kid when that all went down. I think I was 12 or something, 10 or 12 years old or something.
I was in the army. We were looking at it on television in the mess hall. It was so funny.
No, I was only a kid. I can't really comment on most of it.
Uh,
That was another distraction. See, it's just distractions. They were all just distractions. They're all like, how many other cases? Think about it. That OJ case was going on at that time. How many other murders in the world do you think happened? How many other controversial cases were going down at the time? What was actually going on?
That sucked everyone's fucking life.
Everything went under the rug.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
It was OJ all
They
over
wanted to
again.
make sure he fucking paid for his
Think about it. Why was that distraction put into place as big as it was? Because something else was going down.
something
What was
else. And there was a few things going on.
that? Yeah, of course. You know it all day long. That's the question you want to ask. What was the other thing that was going down then?
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to end this. But Friday night hell, this Friday night
Oh,
is the Friday night hell. And then Percy will be joining us. And anybody else, if you're more than welcome to join us. And Sunday night, we have our regular scheduled show. Richard Palmisano is going to be on, and Jeff's sitting in Alex's chair for the next few weeks, anyways,
yep.
filling in for him. God, we're 5 away from 1K. Holy crap! I can't believe
Yeah.
it. 5.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's cool.
He's
Almost
passed.
a-
He's passed Alex. He's passed the Alex replacement test. That's all good.
You
Thank
mean he
you.
talks more?
I'm more verbal.
No, it's all right.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
time will
So Friday night, guys. The next show, the next scheduled show is Sunday night, and again, we'll see you Friday night, and then again Sunday night. Until then, take care, everyone. Be well, and take care, Jeff. Take care, Sab,
Take care,
and
Steve.
everyone
Take
in
care,
chat.
Seb.
Take
Everybody
care.
in chat. Good night.
Later.
Bye. These are